behalf of the Leader of the Opposition, I would like to now introduce the Honorable Volda Lawrence. She will welcome her to the stage to deliver her brief remarks. Please put your hands together for her. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Minister Gail Teixeira, performing the duties of President, Ministers of Government, Speaker of the National Assembly, members of the Diplomatic Corps, former and present members of Parliament, former Prime Minister, Mr. Moses Virsami Nagamutu, special invitees. Good evening. I wish on behalf of the Leader of the Opposition, Aubrey Compton Norton, to express his sincere regrets at not being able to be here to celebrate with you. Notwithstanding, I read the following on his behalf. The supreme organs of democratic power in Guyana shall be the first Parliament, secondly the President, and thirdly, Cabinet. The Constitution also states quite emphatically, there shall be a Parliament of Guyana, which shall consist of the President and the National Assembly, Articles 50 and 51 of our Constitution. It is not my intention to confuse the National Assembly with the Parliament, but it is my deliberate intention to illustrate that the Constitution birthed dual embryos for good government and good governance in Guyana. Today, we celebrate the 70th anniversary of one of those embryos, the Parliament. As is traditional with all celebrations, we course through the annals of history and highlight those moments that gives us reason to celebrate or contemplate. We must celebrate on this auspicious occasion the victories of universal adult suffrage and struggles for self-governance. We must never forget that it was in this space a resolution was passed unanimously to begin the discussions on the granting of independence. We must also celebrate the achievements of our National Assembly in the area of human rights and freedoms, diplomacy, finance, education, surpassing the quota for women in our National Assembly, reviewing of our standing orders and procedural manual, not forgetting the addition of our several select committees. That is just a few of our achievements. But those achievements, in greater part, is owed to collaboration and bipartisanship within this space. Now for the contemplations. In his report, Needs Assessment of the Guyana National Assembly, Sir Michael Davies, Commonwealth Senior Parliamentary Staff, Advisor to the Guyana National Assembly, identified particular shortcomings of the National Assembly. For example, lack of independence of the Parliament and its management from the control of the executive. Members who are not sufficiently au fait with the role within the parliamentary framework, and the lack of awareness of the National Assembly's responsibility to relate with civil society, the private sector, and the wider public. Ladies and gentlemen, our people subscribe to a system of democracy that ensures the process of election is free and fair, and further, that their elected representatives are afforded the opportunity to effectively serve their interests. The hallowed space within the interests of our people are ventilated and served in our National Assembly. It has stood since 1953 when Dr. Cheddy Jagan and Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham and other heroes entered. This hallowed space 70 years ago was certainly different. Then our elected representatives' legislative agendas were viewed as subordinate to the whims of the British interests. Today, it is the view of many Guyanese. We have replaced the British with the executive. It is their view the National Assembly, instead of being treated as a separate and equal embryo, is treated as a co-joint twin of the executive. Sir Davies, in his report in paragraphs 18 and 19, I quote, said, "Steps must be taken to establish the National Assembly as an institution independent of the executive. This is necessary that the legislature can truly keep the executive under scrutiny." Throughout this report, I have identified areas where the separation of powers is not observed in respect of the National Assembly. Meetings of the National Assembly are entirely at the whim of the executive, end of quote. If we aren't independent at age 70, when will we be independent, fellow Guyanese? We are duty-bound to fight for the independence of the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, I dare say, you as the shepherd within these halls, yours is the greatest responsibility in holding the line of battle. The spirit of bipartisanship must emanate from your seat. For too long, the National Assembly has been used as a tool of executive aggression and repression. Therefore, the opposition will continue to be resolute in ushering in a new dispensation, a new culture within the National Assembly, a culture of mature leadership amongst its cadres and working relationship with stakeholders. As in 1953, when our founding fathers, with pride, relished the challenge of bringing hope to our countrymen, we, the opposition, will use this hallowed space to bring hope and change to all Guyanese. Happy 70th anniversary. Thank you.